The final week, previous live, yeah, because my camera's on there, yeah? And keep my sound on, yeah? It was a dive, wasn't it?
What?
It was a dive. It was a dive, was it? I just... Connection, attempt to reconnect. That's not. So I just want to quickly put my go to 10 and start setting it all up. 5 anyway. I'll come in. I'm ready. Yep. And welcome back to 9 Years Live. A 1-1 draw against Sunderland, and what has to go down as the Battle of Plough Lane, Rob. That was like 11 yellow cards. That was a seriously bad game out there.
I think that was the record of amount of bookings I've seen in a game personally. It seemed like every single foul was a yellow card according to the referee. Some bizarre decisions, I feel like, today. Is that 11 yellows and a red, or was that 11?
Yeah, I'm just checking at the moment. Yes, 11. So we will definitely be getting a letter from the FA. I would have thought, Tom. That was a really dirty game out there today.
I don't know if it was dirty as such. I think a lot of it was time wasting and kicking the ball away in the first half, which you don't really want to see. But so many yellows and there's so many stoppages in the game constantly. But refs are different each week, as we've noticed in League One.
Yeah, definitely. And we've just got this obviously. The actual scores have just come through. I'm going to let Spike now, so we do have the scores. I can't wait to see. I've not had a look. To be fair, that was that game flew by. I don't know about you, Tom, but let's go through the first half. I think we come out how we wanted to come out.
Yeah, I think
on the front foot.
That penalty to start with, a perfect start, and then we had the second one, which I looked nailed on, but I was up in the West Hand side. I don't know how that was, but we attacked. We could have been 2 or 3 up. Their keeper pulled off an absolute wonder save to stop Cosgrove at close range. So you you're going to be happy with that. If you're Robbo, you're really happy with that first half.
Definitely. Rob, you and I did have a little look at each other, didn't we, that penalty? I would have to say that if that was against us, I'd be questioning the referee, but then to be fair, without questioning referees all the time, he was questionable all game.
He was indeed. I do feel like the second one was a penalty, but because he gave the one previously, he didn't want to give it, did he? And I think maybe even the one with the SL at the end, I'd have to see that one back, but I do think the second one, which on Rudy, which then got given as a corner, for me personally, I feel like that was a nailed-on penalty. But yeah, we came out the blocks really well. Rudy scuffed the chance early on, and then we got the penalty. Then we had a really good chance of a corner, and then we should have maybe had a second penalty. You know, if you take this as an isolated game, I was really impressed with what I saw today. You know, we don't look like a relegation team as such. But then on the flip side, it's now, what is it, 11, 12 games?
12 games.
12.
Do you know what? I think the interesting thing is, and Tom, I don't know about you, but I've come out of that feeling really positive from what I've seen. You know, taking away the red card, obviously the second yellow for Maka, and AFSL picking up his booking, which now means he has a 1-match ban. A 2-match ban, as I've just been told. That's very rude by you, George. If we go back to a penalty, McCormick, there seemed to be a little bit of a discussion on who was going to take the penalty.
Yeah,
Did
I
you
saw
see
Lee
that?
Brown kind of trying to make his way over. It's nice to have players that want to take the penalty, though. Like, you want players to step up to the mark. And yeah, Lee Brown, I think Ayew was in there as well. Then Maka came out. For me, I would have thought it would have been Cosgrove as the striker, the number 9, to take it, but Maka dispatched it with ease. Yeah.
He did, and I'm the same as you, Tom. Actually, Rob, what were you? Because I always like forwards to take penalties. That's just me. I think that sort of side. Were you confident when Maka lined up?
Yeah, you know what, Maka obviously takes our free kicks and set pieces. So I felt fairly confident when he stepped up to take it, and also. He is a Newcastle supporter, so he did the Shearer celebration as well. So
we saw.
I think maybe he wanted to take it in front of the Sunderland end. Maybe gave him a bit of an extra incentive.
Yeah, those Sunderland fans weren't happy when he was in that corner. I can understand why they were moaning as much as they were, but we see that. I think we've got the latest. Well, I think they're all now full-time scores, I understand. So let's get our way through this. So obviously, 1-1 draw with Sunderland. Accrington, that's done us a bit of a favour. Bit of a drubbing with Crew. These are now all full time, so Burton is a full time now against Cambridge. Cheltenham beating Fleetwood Town 2-0 Cheltenham. It just shows you, doesn't it, Tom, a couple of wins and you get yourself out of a bit of trouble, don't you?
There's the gap at the bottom of the table now. I'd say from 21st to 17th is 5 points. So a win and you jump 2 spaces. 2 wins and you're out of the kind of the like orange zone, I say, around that relegation mark. So
definitely. Ipswich 0-0 draw, Morecambe, Gillingham, we'll take that all day long with a draw.
Best result for us, that 1-1.
Yeah. Oxford losing at home to Bolton Wanderers, who we go to next. There was a time a little while ago when Bolton was actually, you didn't mind going to Bolton, but obviously they beat Sunderland and so forth like that. Pompey, a convincing win over Doncaster 4-0 and Wigan beating Charlton 2-1, which Wigan going back on form in that case. League table wise, not much of a change realistically. It's still really our game we had is Plymouth, although by the time that comes along we'd have also played Gillingham and so forth like that. So Maka put the penalty away, and then it's difficult to moan about a free kick, but I thought it was a generous free kick for Sunderland.
Yeah, I thought it was a soft free kick. I can't remember who even committed foul now, but I thought they won the ball when I saw it live. But then, like we already discussed, the referee was quite whistle happy today, and it seemed like everything which was a foul was also deemed a booking as well today. But credit to Sunderland. They still had to dispatch that free kick and got it up and over the wall. So it's frustrating because I don't actually think Sunderland actually created much, especially in that first half.
No, I agree. That's what I was thinking. It was, I thought we were comfortable as such.
Yeah.
Tom, were you behind that goal? Where were you today?
Oh, I was in the press box first half,
You were slumming up in the press box.
I thought the free kick was well taken, to be honest. I mean,
it goes over the height. Yeah,
can't lie. But there's a lot of questionable little free kicks that in the grand scheme of things don't mean too much. But you get that and they score from what was it, about 25 yards in?
Yeah, do you know what? Sometimes they say it's too close, don't they, free kicks, but he got it up and over.
Yeah, up and over. I mean, there was clear.
Which looked like our strong side of the wall on that side. But I think you're right. It's always difficult when you get a dodgy penalty because you're sort of like so that's why I didn't moan too much about the free kick. However, later on, just before half time, Jack Rodoni to me looked a nailed on penalty.
Yeah, no, I agree. Me and you were sitting next to each other and we're just we were kind of screaming for it. But
Emery's just going to join us behind us.
But we also felt like, because, like I said, because the ref had already given one previously, he didn't want to give a second penalty, and then obviously didn't want to give a late one for a Sal either, it seemed. So yeah, a bit frustrating on that side of things.
And I'm sure Emery took the long way round to make sure that so by the time we got here, we stopped talking about the referee. We were pleased to know we've got nowhere near finishing.
I think it was on the way up, everyone asking me my opinion on the referee.
We just talked about the free kick, and then obviously they scored and a penalty. End of the first half, we seemed to. I think it was a very good half, Emery.
That was probably one of the best games I've seen this season, if not the best game. We were just really up for it. I'm happy I got the score prediction right. I said before the match I've been really chuffed with the 1-1.
Yeah.
I think that's the first prediction I've got right so far. I think, do you know what? We look really good out there today. We really look threatening. So many chances, and I think the players will go in feeling like a bit gutted they didn't win that today.
Yeah.
Which is mad to think that before the match we'd be in that position.
We had
a busy match.
We had Jacob on, didn't we? A Sunderland fan, and to be fair, he called it. He said he thought we were favourites, and he thought that they would have a decent first half. They did. Tom, did you? From a team that Sunderland sitting fifth, sixth position.
Yeah.
Like if you, I know it's difficult to compare teams, but if you look at Rotherham who come down to us on Tuesday night at Sunderland, I thought they were a very one-paced team. I didn't feel threatened really.
They had a bit going through the middle, but they seemed to struggle when they got out to their wide players. And I remember saying to someone I was sitting with, their back line was so unorganised. And you saw Cosgrave nearly got in early. And I think it's a very, very young side. We talk about our team being young. A lot of their players were 18 on loan. You've got Callum Doyle on loan from City. You've got Jack Clark on loan from Tottenham, and I just don't think they've gelled yet together. But that will come for them. But yeah, no, I was surprised. I thought they'd really blow us out the water.
Thank you, George. George has just tried to blind me with a light. I don't know, question-wise, chuck your questions in, chuck what you thought. Those of you watching at home, those of you travelling home, let us know your thoughts, who you thought maybe man of the match was and stuff like that. I'll go first. I thought Sam Cosgrave was everything we need. We have lost Ollie Palmer, we know that. But I felt everything we needed. The ball stuck today, didn't it?
He brought in so much of in the midfield. He was bringing other players into the game, and you could really see him constantly looking around, looking for that next opportunity. He won nearly quite a lot of his headers, particularly that first half. He was causing them problems, and he looked really intelligent out there. He was playing some really clever moves and getting himself into awkward places for the defenders. I thought my man of the match was Lee Brown today. Personally, he was a threat in attack as well as really stabilising things at the back again for us. I think we really missed him in the last match.
Yeah, and I think, do you know what, Rob? I think today's game was probably where you could. There wasn't one outstanding. I think there was a solid performance by the whole team. I think you could pick out a few.
Yep.
Who did you?
George
pick?
Marsh won the official man of the match, and I think he would be my pick as well. He just seems to be everywhere.
Loves to tackle, which is dangerous out there today.
I'm really excited to see him and Woody in the same team together. We've not really seen that.
Yeah.
But the opposition ain't going to get a minute's piece on the ball, are they, when them two play together? And I think maybe he might have thrived a little bit more in that 4-3-2-1 Christmas tree formation with a midfielder either side of him as well.
Yeah, and we went for it, didn't we? In terms of what Anthony Hart had gone on for the passing ability, Tom. So I couldn't resist it.
Backwards passes.
But we did. What I felt we had in that game was we dominated with possession. We didn't panic. We tried to overload, didn't we? All the things that we know we're good at, we did in that last bit.
Yeah, for me, I think someone like that Thomas coming on and could find a bit of flair and a bit of going forward, I think would have been a good introduction. Obviously, I think maybe subbing Maka off early as well to try and avoid that yellow card, because now we lose Maka and Asal for our next game, which is two big losses, but it opens up a lot of possibilities for other players. So
yeah,
it's exciting for a fan because you get to see new players, but in terms of long term with the team, you kind of want.
Well, the problem is, Rob, normally you try and take your players off to protect them from a yellow card, but we didn't have 5 or 6 subs today, did we really? Yeah. Everyone got booked. I think it's more of a case of who didn't get booked today.
I think I jinxed it, because I said the one thing we need to be is sensible today, not pick up any awkward bookings. Try and manage that going through the game, but yeah, maybe we didn't quite do that.
It just got silly, didn't it? And we've got a comment there from Smikus, and with referee making a name for himself in his first season in the English Football League. Hey, look, do you know what? Referees, I know, have got a tough job. Go on.
I will say slightly in his defence that actually, if you look at it across the whole match, there's so many of the little decisions he did get right that actually in the last 2-3 games we've not been given those little pushes, those little clips or soft fouls, and he was given those, which we would moan about if they were, going the other way. And to be fair, he got some of those more consistent ones, but obviously the big decisions is where it was.
I was going to say, is this the referee union sticking together?
Well, that's it. Secret code, the magic circle.
Because I think referee's a hard job. I thought he was a little bit whistle happy, which broke the game up a little bit. But then he got to a stage where he booked people, and then it got to a stage where if you're booking for that, you've got to book for this.
That's the issue.
And that's where you come,
and
isn't
then
it?
You're selling those decisions between each side. Well, if you've done him for that, then you've got to keep consistency. And all the players constantly asking you, be consistent. And I think in some respects he was, because he set that precedent so early with the yellows. It's like, now I have to yellow you. Now I have to yellow you. It was a difficult day down there, and I think obviously Rob Tooby's
even he got a yellow card. To be fair, one of their players went down the tunnel very early. I thought he'd gone off for a red card. He was so quick over that challenge. Tom, did you see the challenge on the touchline? And
on Osu?
Yeah.
I don't know how he's got away with it.
He literally went down the tunnel. I thought he'd gone. I was like, keep going.
Yeah, he just kept running.
At that point, I was trying to do some filming for the club for celebration, so I was sat pretty much on the touchline, and literally he went straight through him. So
I think, do you know what? I think it wasn't for the fact he didn't catch him. On that side of it. But I think if you look at it backwards on terms of, I think we forced them into a lot of those challenges. We looked at Lee Brown. I agree with you. We've done some good overlaps. There was on that. It felt like the sides we got a lot more joy today, Rob.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's some really good. There's one passage of play on the left hand side with Lee Brown where they played nice triangles. It's just our final ball kind of was lacking a bit of composure in the final third, but I think maybe that's just a confidence thing at the moment. But yeah, we've got in some really good positions. I really like the formation we played today, and I'd be quite keen for us to stick with it, or I'd be interested to see if we do stick with it or revert back to 4-2-3-1.
What do we think the major difference with that formation was?
I think giving Marsh the freedom of the whole kind of defensive line, because I think he thrives in a position where he can, just irritate people and get into them and win the ball. And then just having, Maka and Chislett ahead of you are two quality players, and it allows Ayub and Rudoni a little bit of freedom out on the wings, because they don't have to come in and play their midfield duties. So I think it was just kind of giving Marsh more to do, but something he's easily capable of, and I think that really benefited us.
I think for me it made us a bit more defensively sound by having the 3 instead of the 4-2. Like Sunderland didn't really open us up. I don't really recall Nick Zenith having the ball off any saves today, and having that 3-man midfield, the extra block,
I'm just saying the ground's having a bit of a laugh. He's putting the extra goals up for us.
We could have maybe done with them today.
Might have scored though. I think we might need to put them up at some point. I'm joking. I'm guessing the Broncos are at home tomorrow. George? No? Okay. Maybe they are.
Everyone should be at Carl Shorten instead.
What a plug, George. What a plug. Yeah, Carl Shorten for the ladies. They are at home to Stevenage. Stevenage ladies. And then here at Queen's Park, here against Queen's Park Rangers on Wednesday. Yes, George, I was going to get to that point. So we've got to train Ben Twinnecust. That's really well with you on that. Can we go up to the final scores again? Just because, have we got any questions coming in, Spike, at all? Cool. Nothing about your hat. I'm joking. Spike's got a lovely green hat on today.
It's because I can't see it. That's why they're not commenting.
Yeah, in terms of the league table, I'm not too sure you saw the rankings. Obviously, you were.
No, I mean, I'm chuffed with the Morecambe-Gillingham result. I did hear it, a few of the fans giving updates as the game was going on, but obviously that's probably worked out about as well as it can be for us.
Yeah.
From a selfish point of view.
Lincoln as well. Lincoln were leading in that game for quite a long time. I'm guessing Marcus might have scored again today. He seems to, doesn't he? He's just shows you, doesn't it? There's some teams that are starting to hit a little bit of form. I think we still need to look, obviously, around Fleetwood, ourselves. Morecambe still got Stockton. You still can't look further than Bolton away, and then Chills away. That still is. I think by the time we come back here in a couple of weeks, we'll probably know a little bit more. But Anne-Marie, after that performance, confidence levels should be higher, shouldn't they?
They should be, and I was a bit concerned there at the end that obviously around the penalty / dive, whatever happened this end of the pitch, that it took away from that. Actually, that was an awesome result to come out from. There was so much positivity, there was so much bounce. I don't want people to remember the last bit of the match being that. Let's take away the positives, and actually the players should be really upbeat about that.
Yeah, do you know what?
Today.
Yeah, it's disappointing losing. It's disappointing losing Liverpool, Matt. I'm not surprised we lost somebody. frustrating. Do you think that was just frustration? Hey, look, I'm not saying he wanted to get the penalty. Let's be fair with that. But frustratingly now, 2 games and probably 2 games we could do without him losing.
I think with Ayoub, it's going to be coming sooner or later, though. You know, he's always playing on the edge, doesn't he? Unfortunately,
Yeah.
You know, he does a few times where I could see he was getting very frustrated. You know, with getting pulled back and whatnot. But I feel a bit sorry for him in the sense that, you know, he's picked up 10 bookings, but you know,
He's picked up 10 bookings in the amount of bookings you could have got against him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I feel a bit sorry for him for. You know, even today's decision has gone against him. You know, when maybe another day it would have went for him. So I do feel a bit sorry for him, and unfortunately we've lost him for some key games coming up as well, which is a bit gutting.
Yeah. Kyle Rossi was just saying, by the way, that Morgan scored in the 84th minute. Any guesses who scored it?
Stop Lee.
I'd have to say I'll let one of them check us out on that. Okay, so we go to Bolton and then to go to Gillingham. Tom, how you feeling?
Bolton is, for me, Bolton without Maka and without Asau is a much harder task than it was before the game today. But after we play today, if we can go to Sunderland like that, why can't we go to a team like Bolton? And then Gillingham has to be 3 points. There's no excuses for that really for me. They've got a new manager. They're playing well, but if they're below, you have to beat them.
I think in all fairness, Rob, I think the Gills game is a not lose. It's one of those, isn't it? It's a not lose, which is always dangerous when you go in. It's when you go, I'll take a draw, because it's dangerous, isn't it? Because you can go there and win. And Gillingham, we've got a decent enough record. But I wouldn't say the season depends on Gillingham, but it could have a big influence on where we are. Yeah. And look, you know, thank you for that spike. The timing was great, as if like we were playing that one. But it's I hate looking at fixtures because you look at every game, Bolton, then Gillingham, but then Doncaster at home, who we would hope are out of it.
So you say Gillingham's a must not lose, but then I look at Doncaster and feel like that's a bit of a must win, especially with our run of form at home at Plough Lane. We'll have Asau and McCormack both back, you know, by then. So you know, if we can pick up 4 or 5 points in the next 3.
So Asau misses Bolton, Gillingham, Macalu misses Bolton on that, and it gives them a rest, to be fair, Amory, on that side of it. Doncaster, I hate looking too far ahead because it's dangerous, but you do look at Gil and then Doncaster, and actually the fans today I felt really good, really supportive, and I saw that at the end there that they really appreciated that performance.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it felt there was a lot of togetherness there to get today on and off the pitch. I mean, I try and look at it match by match, but I think with Bolton it's so difficult because they've had, you know, they beat Sunderland 6-0 recently, and then they can lose the next one, or they're a little bit up and down. You don't really know what to expect from them.
They won at Oxford today, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They won 3-2.
That's a good win. Not that I want to beef up Bolton too much.
But you know that I mean, that's it. But then they're sort of hovering mid-table.
Yes.
You don't know what to expect from them. So obviously we're going to be, like Tom said, without 2 key players. But it gives other people a chance. But I think the main thing is that momentum, getting in that habit again, getting those confidence levels up, even if it needs to change shape and squad a little bit next week. I think we should still go into it in a good frame of mind. And we've got a week off, no midweek games this week, so regroup. Yeah, a bit of breathing space.
Oh, thank you. Simon Wood, how many games are McCormack in their South for? So McCormack misses 1, so he misses Bolton, and Evershow misses Bolton and Gillingham.
I think Asau missing 2 games is going to give him the rest he needs. I think him and Ruby
there is something like that, isn't there?
Tired. Yeah. And I'd like to see Dapo come back into the side. Yeah. Thomas, like I mentioned before. I mean, the Blade even on the wing maybe. Like I don't personally think he's what we need, but I'd like to see him try it out in a wider position to see if it works.
Yeah.
But I mean, it gives options for a lot of other young players to come through.
So as we wrap up, Tom, what have you taken from today's game? What have you taken that's positive for today? We didn't get smashed by Sunderland, so that's, for me, that was quite the result. But no, I think we've showed that we can take the game to the bigger teams. We can play football, and we can play, you know, without Hart in the middle with Marsh, and Marsh can do that job on his own. So for me, it's a good game. Rob? I feel like I'm coming away from here thinking we're not going to be getting relegated if we can put in that level of performance. You know, I feel like over the course of the rest of the season we'll be fine. We've still got a lot of players coming back: Woodyard, Presley, Lawrence. So Asau and McCormack to come back as well. Definitely. So yeah, positives. Anne-Marie? Very, very pleased, and I think exactly what the other guys have said. I feel a bit today like, you know, we didn't look like a relegation side. Obviously, I know that the table is what it is. We've got some big games coming up, but what I like is that when we went down to 10 men, we still attacked.
and that just shows that confidence level has risen. I think a couple of weeks ago we wouldn't have done that; we'd have absolutely panicked. And really tried to park the bus, but no, feel good going into Bolton next weekend.
Definitely, and I think for myself, I thought Sam Cosgrove was really good today and gives us that. You need a man, you need a target man, you need someone to keep you in the game and stuff like that. And I thought as we went through, we grew into that, and I've come out with a lot of confidence, which after the last couple of games is a good sign on that. So thank you for joining us. We now have a couple of weeks off from the home game. Yay! Thank you for joining us. Don't forget the podcast is out on Fridays, I think. Yeah, some Fridays.
How long have you been doing it for?
I don't know what day of the week it is, but thank you for joining us. We are back for the home game against Doncaster Rovers, and we will see you then.